Christopher Brown has turned around North Charleston High School's men's basketball team for the better. I speak exclusively with the coach for a special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. Coach Christopher Brown, it's so good to see you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, obviously you are the head basketball coach here at North Charleston High School. And I know that you all just came back off of your basketball season.
Sure.
When you look back at your basketball season to now, what is it like to be you?
It's interesting. We've gotten to the point where everybody wants a piece of us. So I get calls daily from different schools trying to get me on their schedule. When I first took over the program, we would beg people, hey, we need games. But now, every day is a different school from Georgia, North Carolina, the upstate. So it's interesting. It's very interesting.
How interesting has it been for you to be able to turn this program around?
Actually, it's been a grind. The first year, getting the guys to buy into my concept was pretty tough. I'm originally from the Columbia area where basketball is like king.
Yes.
So I have I guess I would say an ideal of what I like for my program to look like, and it's a little different than most programs in the Low Country. So the fiery, I guess I would say the fieriness in me brings out the betterness in them. And so once I was able to get the guys to buy in, we've been able to turn it around.
And, you obviously talk about those particular schools, Georgia and whatnot, and they're, obviously calling Dougie Brown.
Yeah.
He is your 2020 guard receiving interest from Virginia Tech coaching staff because he's a great kid in a great school. And it's a good day, as you said, for North Charleston basketball. What does that one word describe Dougie Brown?
Consistent. And when I say consistent, I know day in, night out, regardless of who we're playing, when we're playing, he's going to deliver. He's going to give me 25 to 30 points, without a doubt. The bigger the lights, the better he plays. We played in the region championship game, and I spoke with him before the game. I said, we need this game. So he ended up with 53 points and actually had, I think, 24, 25 in the fourth quarter. And that's what caught the attention of a lot of schools. The Virginia Tech situation is interesting because he went to Wofford on a recruiting visit. And the coaching staff actually left Wofford for Virginia Tech. And so they contacted me and said, hey, we're still interested in him. So, now he's putting in extra work because, Virginia Tech's an ACC school, so it's a big level.
Big level. And you talk about big level. Let me talk to you about your 6'4" shooting guard, Ralph Holmes. Obviously, he's rising.
Yeah.
And he was rated number 32 in the class of 2021 by Big Shots.
Yeah.
What are those Big Shots?
Big Shots is a recruiting service. They offer different variety of things: tournaments, individual camps, team camp. Probably, I would say, number one recruiting service definitely in the Low Country, but in the Southeast, they're either one or two, just depending on who you talk to.
Yeah. If you were to talk to these schools about Ralph Holmes, what would you say?
Potential. Most of these guys, from coaching college basketball, I know we all look for potential. When you talk with, the difference is if you talk with a parent or just someone that's new to the game of basketball, and they say, well, this kid is better than this kid, you give this other kid more playing time. It's because of the potential. You grade kids out on have they reached their fullest potential or where they could be. And Ralph has unlimited potential.
How do you grade Rico Planters?
Rico is up and coming. If Rico put his foot to the fire, he could be unstoppable. And my ideal goal for Rico is to start at point guard so I can move Doggy to the two. One thing I would say about Doggy, he has the ball in his hand all the time, so he's capable of doing anything. So if I can move him to the two, I think it'll bring a little bit more out of Rico.
And Rico's up and coming, as many people know, and obviously he's gotten a lot of interest from schools as well.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
That's so amazing. And A.J. Waring, he's obviously won the Heart of the Cougar Award just recently, and he's a 6'3", 2020 wing for your school. How do you describe him?
AJ has gone through a lot of personal adversity in his life. So the Heart of the Cougar Award is given to a young man that has been battle tested and continues to fight back. Each year I single out a kid. They don't know that, but they would know now. Each year I single out a kid in my heart that I'm going to just be tough on them to the point to I want to break them and build them up. And every time I hit him with something, he's right back.
Right back.
And he doesn't realize it now, but when he's not with Coach Brown, he's with that next coach, he can be like, man, Coach Brown really set me up good. So, and this year it happened to be AJ.
Yes,
so next year somebody else will catch you.
That's right. What is it like to sit back and watch him be a success on the court dealing with his personal adversaries?
Oh, it's an awesome thing. And, you know, not just to single out AJ, each one of these kids have, you know, just different dynamics and things going on. And I explain to them all, you know, and I give them a little bit of background on me. I said, you know, you're not the only person with issues going on. I said, I'm the coach and I have personal issues and things in my life that I deal with. And so when they can see, you know, where I'm coming from and you know, there's a saying where real recognizes real. So my guys know that, hey, man, Coach Brown really got my back. So they give me their all.
Give you all. And Trenton Bennett.
Yeah.
How do you recognize him?
Trenton has the potential to be a Division I recruit. I always tell Trenton the day he will become a Division I recruit will be the day that he gets out of his own way. I'm hoping Trenton can be a team captain next year. I've left the door open for that possibility, but he has the potential to be a Division I recruit. Right now, a couple of Division II schools have called me about him, so I'm hoping he takes the next step to get to D1.
D1.
Yes,
you say he has to really get out of his way.
Yep.
What is his way right now?
His way is Trenton. It would be nice if I didn't see you wear your sliders at school. Coach Brown, you're exactly right. It's my bad I wore the sliders. 10 minutes later, Trenton, you still got your sliders on. Coach, you're right. Then all of a sudden, the sliders are gone. So I explained to him, Trenton, you know the rules. You know how we operate as a team. You know what is expected of you being in my program. So before you left the house, you should have left the sliders home. So I wouldn't even have to address that issue. So, and that's one thing about my guys. They really know what it takes to be involved with our program because we do so much for them and we do so much more than other sports programs. For example, we had 65 tried out last year and we kept 9. So it's really hard to get on the varsity team, and so these guys know. And you know, sometimes they take that to their advantage. You know, I'm a varsity player, so you know. But Trent really got a chance of being a really good basketball player.
And another person who has another chance is Ralph Holmes. He's the 6'4" shooting guard, and he's obviously his stock is rising as well. Where does he fit in your concept?
Ralph definitely will be a high major recruit by his senior year. His maturity level needs to rise some. He doesn't realize, being a 6'4" sophomore, that there are expectations that's required of you, and he hasn't reached that yet. But we'll get him there.
Get him there. And another person you're trying to get there is obviously Marquez Terry.
This year, each year, like how I single a kid out to be tough on him.
Oh, yeah.
I also adopt a new son each year. Last year was Desmond Glover. This year is Marquez Terry. Every Friday night during football season, the guys that don't play football, we usually go out to dinner. We do a team dinner. And I don't think it's been a day that's gone by since I've not seen Marquez Terry at some point in the day, whether he's just hanging out with me or doing something. So Marquez actually signed a basketball scholarship to go to Garden City Community College in Kansas. So he'll be headed out west real soon. I think he reports first week in August.
Wow.
A 3.6 GPA. So he really did his thing this season. Yeah.
How do you hope he can use your concept or the team's concept there?
Actually, Marquez and any kid that leave my program, and I always tell them, if you can't play for me, it's going to be really hard for you to play college basketball. I said, there's not a mother or father there to get you up at 8 o'clock for class, for practice. So I really keep the foot on them to just excel at everything. Like the expectation level, it's really high. And so, and honestly, most of my guys meet the expectations. They might have, a moment or two where they have a lapse, but then the other guys say, Coach Brown don't like that.
Right.
And most of them now that we've turned the program around, now it's all about scholarship.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of the stuff that I used to have to worry about, I no longer worry about. I'll give you a perfect example.
Okay.
My first year, I have a test that I was taught from my old coaches just growing up and when I first became a coach. And they say after you have your first team meeting, you give them all your rules and your expectations. And then you leave. And you allow them to leave. And then you go back in and you see how many of the papers on the floor. My first year, every single paper was on the floor. Just because they had done it the wrong way for so long. Who's this new guy coming in, telling them what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. Every year since then, every paper they've taken it home to their parents. So the program has risen to a level where the expectations are, hey, I'm going to get a scholarship because I'm going to do what Coach Brown asked me to do.
You talked earlier about not worrying about really scholarships and what else. Are there any things that you're still worried about from a basketball standpoint?
From a basketball standpoint, I would say just keeping it up. Now that people, wanting us to come to their events, they're coming at us. Last year it was some. We were the region champs last year. This year the target was on us, and we fell short in winning the region. We lost to Oceanside, and it was our only region loss. So had we came out victorious against them, we would have won the region again. But next year with Deshaun Murray returning, Doggy Brown returning, and all those guys returning, it's going to be really, really interesting because we're in all the major events next year. We're in the Chick-fil-A Classic. We're in the big event in Hilton here. We're going to a tournament outside of Atlanta. We're in the Prep Hoop Showcase. We're in the Phenom Hoop Showcase. So the target is on our back, and I just want the guys to step up, which I know they would step up just because the type of offense we run. I give them so much free reign to use their athletic ability that I know we do well.
Let me ask you a simplistic question. What is that one school that you all beat that you thought you really couldn't?
One school. Believe it or not, it's Burke. and it's not Burke here.
Right.
It's just only Burke when you go to Burke.
Right. Oh, yeah.
It's just, we always mark that game like, hey, we just got to go down there and win and move on. In the last couple seasons, we've been able to go down there and win. And I tell Coach Richardson all the time, I said, Coach, man, it's impossible to just come out here with an easy win. I said, it doesn't matter if my team is good or your team is good or I'm having a different year, you're having a different year. It's just hard to go down to Burke and win. And this year, it was down on a Friday night down there. And it's just a different experience. You got the band playing, all the fans walk there, so it's just a really good experience. So every time we come out of there with a win, it's like, yeah, we did a good thing.
How do you keep this rivalry friendly?
It's hard at times, honestly. Between the coaches and the principals, we actually have had meetings on how we can keep it friendly. Because, sometimes the player emotions get a little high. But in the past, it's been okay. You had some fans that, still hold grudges for years and years. But between the players, because ironically, most of these players play on the same teams during the summer. Matter of fact, Doggy Brown and the point guard from Burke, they're on the same AAU team. So those guys know each other. So we've been able to keep it cool.
Keep it cool. How do you keep your concept going 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now?
Well, my concept is probably like no other coach concept in the Low Country. In coaching, there's a saying where a player has a green light. 95% every player on my team has the green light. Our goal is to score 100 points every game. For the last couple of years, we've been, if not the top scoring team, one of the top scoring teams in the state, regardless of class. We're wanting to shoot anywhere between 30 to 43 a game. I single out I create an offense where each player, whatever his ability is, he has the green light to do that at any time. You don't have to look over at coach. Just know that if you're a shooter, you can shoot every time you get the ball. You ain't got to look at coach. You don't have to think about it. If you like to get to the hole and lay up or dunk, whatever, if you get the ball within the offense, you have the right to do that. And a lot of coaches try to defend it, but when there's no real way to defend it, because you have to realize the old school way of thinking is control. And I've turned the opposite. I've given up all the control from me to the players. So the outcome is based on the players playing within the control of themselves to help us get a win. Perfect example. I spoke with one of the coaches before the game, and I told him, I said, Coach, man, you know, your squad a lot bigger than ours. I said, so I'm going to go 5 guards and make your boys run. And he said, Coach, I'm glad you told me that, because I was trying to figure out how we were going to beat you tonight. He said, so I'm glad you told me that. I said, yeah, no problem, Coach, you know. So as I'm walking back to my sideline, I seen one of the parents. He was like, what that guy want? You know, because all of my parents, you know, they always defended me thinking something going on. And I was like, no, he just wanted to know what kind of lineup we were going with tonight, how we were going to play them. And so I told him my game strategy. He said, why did you tell him that? I said, because at the end of the day, we got to lace him up, and he got to defend what I'm doing. And we won by 50.
Wow.
So with my strategy wouldn't work anywhere else. North Charleston, I would say, is probably one of the few schools in the state with so much athletic talent that if you can just mold that talent into being a good student, a good kid, a productive kid, the talent is already there. So you just have to put the pieces together to get them to develop and excel on the court. Now, what I will say, one of our biggest challenges is, back to the question that you asked, one of our biggest challenges to keep it going is we suffer a lot from losing kids to other schools. For example, I hear all the time, hey, Coach, I would love for my son to come play for you, but we live so-and-so and so way. So I understand that the rules say if you live in West Ashley or wherever, you can't come play. Right. But the flip side of that is kids here are allowed to go other places and play because just of how the rules are shaped. Okay. So I would like to see the rules reverse. Like if a kid's allowed to leave for whatever academic reasons or anything, then the kid should be allowed to come in for whatever reason. Charter schools do that. You know, they benefit that. And people always tell me, Coach, if you was at a charter school, man, you probably win a state championship every year. But my thing is, I'm one of these kids. I grew up the same way these kids grew. I grew up how Darby Brown grew up. I grew up how Deshaun Murray grew up. So when I spend time with them, it's just like being with my little brothers because we're basically from the same place, just from a different city.
Different city. That's so great to hear. Well, Coach Christopher Brown, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, likewise. Yes.